shopping going? Are you like prepping for the holiday season at all?
I have not started, to
Look
be
at
honest
you
with you.
waiting till the last minute, eh?
Hmm.
Well, you know how commercialized the holidays has become? A lot of money spent on other people. And you know what a
Uh-huh.
good way to make money is, Rob?
Gee, Kelly, how do I make money?
Through curling. It is, and not just a regular gameplay, because with this style of curling, you can lose a game but still walk away with a lot of money.
So I've been doing this wrong my whole life.
Exactly. Which brings us into the theme of this week's episode, which is all about skins.
There we go. Now that is a good segue.
It's a game that we don't see often on TV, but it's one that's pretty popular, I guess. I don't know. If you're a curler, you've probably come across a skins tournament or two, or you've
Yeah,
definitely heard about the game. It's no secret.
I think so. I feel like everybody knows the rules. And if you
Hmm.
don't, it's when you have the hammer, you have to get 2 points. And if you don't have the hammer, you have to steal and you earn a skin, which is worth X amount of money. And if you don't win if neither of these things happen, if you blank or only take one with hammer, then the amount that the end is worth is added on to the next end. And all of a sudden you can win even more money.
Yeah, so let's break it down a little bit. For those of you, I guess, who've never heard of skins or have never played before. So, unlike regular curling, an end is not an end, it's called a skin. The goal is not to get as many points in one end, it's basically just to win the skin. And then every skin is worth a certain amount of points, or usually in tournaments, they're cash spiels. So you pay to play, and then every end is worth, or every skin is worth a certain amount of dollars. And then the team that wins the most amount of money at the end of the game is the winner, but you still take home all of the ends that you've won.
Hmm. And you can have a very close game and lose every single skin. You can lose something like $10,000 to zero.
Or you can lose every skin except the last two and like win the game.
Right, because the later ends are worth more, or sorry, later skins are worth more, right?
Every couple skins increases in value. So it gets more and more lucrative to win those last ends. Another thing to note, and that Rob mentioned earlier, is if no one wins a skin, so in other words, blanks the end, but blanking doesn't mean no rocks in the house. It just means that no one succeeded in their goal of taking two or stealing one. The skin carries over, and when that happens, the following skin is worth more because you add the previous skin's amount. And what can make it even more interesting is if you're in the final skin and it's a carryover, you do
Oh
not
yeah,
play another skin. It is a draw to the button for the win.
potentially a lot of money.
I mean, usually in the clubs, we're not talking like thousands of dollars here.
Yeah, that first end is worth like $2.
Exactly. There is every year, I don't know what you want to call it, like a challenge. I think the purse is like $100,000.
And is this the TSN thing?
Every year, TSN hosts like the challenge. The name has changed from year to year. It started out with the McCain, it became the Casino Rama. I think now it's called like the Pinty's All Star Challenge, and the format has changed a little bit year to year. But usually, like it's when it started, it was invitational. They invited 4 teams. It was just semifinal and like the final, and that's it. It's not a full blown competition like the Briar. And nowadays, what they've done is they made it and they turned it into an all-star challenge. So basically, they pick some of the top 10 teams in Canada, and then there's like a fan voting system to vote for like who the skip should be, and then they kind of like pick the players. So you get like a mix of people playing together, like Kevin Cooey with.
I've seen that. Yeah, like they're not always on their traditional team.
No, that's it. It's turned into an
Okay.
all-star challenge.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
but
and that
only in the recent years though.
okay, yeah, cuz I'll be full disclosure, I've not honestly followed it that much.
Neither have I, but it's something that like is
As
kind
much
of
as I
cool.
like it, yeah, as much as
Yeah.
I like it and I support it as a like because last week we talked about doubles and how were both of the opinion that like, hey, there's the game should be played this way. And
Mhm.
I think the same thing with skins. It's fun to watch. It can be frustrating to play, I will admit. But I mean, anything that gets more rocks in play, that's why we watch, right?
Well, definitely. I think because you're not focused on getting the most amount of points per end, your goal is really to take two or steal one. It doesn't matter if you steal two, three, four. You just need that one. So your strategy changes a little bit, right? Like I know if you're trying to steal it, once you have that one locked in, like you're just guarding everything to make sure that it can't get
That's
out of
it.
play.
There's a lot less pressure if you're doing a draw against 6.
Honestly,
It's
I
the
mean,
same thing as giving up 2 or 1 if you have hammer.
that's true. And to be like, I've played a little bit of skins too. I know in juniors we had a tournament every year. Was it over the holidays? That was a skins format, and it is advantageous for teams that like to be aggressive. Like if you're a defensive team,
Forget it.
yeah,
Yeah, or it's just not meant for you. That's something I
Mm.
wanted to mention is like because I did the same thing. We were in those our club, the club that we currently play at, would have a junior skins tournament back when we were juniors, and I remember it was controversial because back then there was a big circuit, and the federation was not too happy about the circuit having a tournament that was skins, and eventually I think they were kicked out of the circuit for that.
yeah. I mean, I kind of agree in a sense. As much as like the tournament was fun, did. It's just not regular curling, right?
Maybe, but I think also, I mean, I know it wasn't regular, but I think it's such a good lesson for any up and coming curler to try this more offensive mentality that honestly, I would have endorsed it. And looking at,
Yeah,
I guess also it's easy in hindsight because we all know this circuit doesn't even exist anymore, and now curling has become a thing where we're like get as many teams as we can. But I would have endorsed it. I think
like I would have supported the idea of not including it in the circuit, but I think it would have been a good tournament to have maybe at the start of the year or at the end of the year when um the big tournaments are done or like haven't started yet, and it's just another way to one get in like another tournament in, and to have it be like a different style than like what you've been playing all year. And definitely I guess the money aspect could be good to fund the following season.
that's what I want to find out actually. So, my research is like non-existent. I'm sorry, but I did quickly Google. There's been old curling games appearing on YouTube, and one of them, like the latest one that was uploaded, is the 1997 TSN Skins game. So I want to find out just very quickly.
Who was playing in that one?
On YouTube, it's Kerry Burtnick versus Wayne Madaw, and oh boy, there's a terrible like Wayne's World parody to start for Wayne Madaw. Oh, very,
Oh,
very
did,
cringe. But what's the dollar amount? Because I remember, I don't know about you, Kelly, but I remember like winning the first end of this tournament that we were talking about and winning like $2.
so like we said before, like every club will have like a skins type tournament throughout the year. And usually like the purse amount is nowhere near the TSN level of money. Yeah, like so some games can be like the first skins are worth $2 and the last skins are worth 10.
Okay.
It all depends on
And the
each like
championship game was worth more, I remember. One year we
for
won
sure.
it and we made quite a bit of money, I remember. So I found it actually. The first end in that 1997 skins game is worth $1,500. Not bad for 1997.
Mhm.
Oh, and we can get in our weekly Randy Furby plug because you know how YouTube should suggest all these videos you should watch? Like all of them have Randy Furby in them.
Yeah, well, this was
Skins
in
legend.
his era. Well,
That's right.
actually, speaking of Randy Furby, so I went and kind of checked the history of who's played in these TSN games. And like I said before, they're not huge tournaments. Like they invite 4 teams, and usually they always invited like the top men's team. But in 2009 is the first time a women's team participated in this challenge. And can you guess whose team was that?
I am going to guess Cheryl Bernard.
No?
No, wait. Okay, Rachel Homan.
No.
Jennifer Jones. I got to be getting closer.
Yeah, this is in
Okay.
2009. Come on, Homan like
Oh wait,
just
that's
instead
true.
of
She would have been
junior,
junior. Sorry.
juniors.
Okay, that was a
Yeah,
bad
no,
guess. Sorry.
So it was Jennifer Jones. This is in the era of Kathy O being the
Okay.
third. So the teams invited were Kevin Martin, Howard, Furby, and Jennifer Jones.
Oh dear.
So
Okay.
do you have a little do you know how this ended for Jones?
Only because you dropped this hint on me last week. I'm gonna say not well.
She had I'm sorry to say Jones is really good and probably and especially at the time one of the top female teams. However, yeah, she didn't really stand a chance against. I think she was playing against Howard. She did win one skin though, so she won $1,500. But yeah, Howard walked away with $19,500 in that
Oh
game.
boy.
Yeah, and there was one carryover, so unfortunately, yeah. These guys who play in these tournaments, like, they take it seriously, like, they do obviously, like, do their best to win, but there is a little more casual lightheartedness to this tournament.
It's true, and I think the other thing though to like bear in mind, I mean, not to defend Jennifer Jones or anything, but like one of the fallacies of skins games is you look at the score and you're like, "Whoa, that team got killed." But it's not always the case. You can like carry over every end and then miss your draw in the eighth, and you're down 20 grand to zero.
That's definitely the
So
case.
I don't know, like was she really killed or
Yeah, I remember
okay?
watching that
Okay,
game, like,
okay, good.
yeah, she was, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube, but you can tell, like, she was a little bit out of our league. And then there was another team invited to play in 2011, and that one was Cheryl Bernard. I don't
Okay,
have
so I
this.
wasn't far off when I guessed her.
No, and unfortunately, I don't know the outcome in that tournament. But after that year, that's when they actually brought in a women's division.
Okay.
Yeah, or actually a couple years later, 2015, they went back to the invitation way of like inviting or getting teams to participate, and they had a men's division and a women's division.
Okay.
I think the difference in yeah, ability. I don't want to say ability, but
The
men
results
were
were
definitely men being at a physical advantage compared to like the women's teams.
the results were what they were.
Exactly. So yeah, that's it. And nowadays it's the All-Star Challenge. So
Okay. I'm glad you did research because, as I said, I as much as I like skins and it's fun to watch, it's kind of hard to follow, and maybe that actually leads into should skins get more a better treatment? Should it become a bigger thing than it
you
is?
mean like become more like a competent like
Should
have a
it?
skin circuit and become
I
an
don't know.
Olympic sport?
I don't know about an Olympic sport. I don't know about that, but just maybe a little bit more notoriety than it gets. Because I think one of the things that I've found is that, or maybe it's just like I don't know if you agree with me, but like since we're no longer junior and we actually have jobs and real things to deal with, I find it very hard to follow curling or be involved anymore. And so like I invest in the Tournament of Hearts and the Briar and those things, but everything else, like all the circuit and all the Grand Slams and things, I don't really follow just because in a normal non-pandemic year, there's curling on all the time. All these teams are playing everything. And I'm thinking like, yeah, it's all the same to me. Let's shake it up and make skins. If they actually, I don't know, like maybe it should become a bigger thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in the sense that it could be nice to have a little more skins, and maybe it could be an idea to turn one of the slams into a skins competition.
They may have done that. I seem to
No,
no, they
maybe
haven't.
maybe you're confusing it with Pinty's now being the sponsor of the challenge with one of the slams, but no. The only time we see skins on TV now is at that TSN challenge or during the Continental Cup.
Okay.
That's the only time it's on TV. But fun fact, do you
Mhm.
know how skins came about? Like how
It's from golf, right?
yeah, but like why they made it for curling?
I am gonna guess because it was the early '90s and it was way too boring.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Okay.
So skins was actually developed for TV to make the game more interesting before, and this was in the time before the free guard zone. came about.
Okay. All
So
right.
before the free guard zone, like everyone was just hitting hitting everything in sight once you get like a 1 point lead. So they kind of developed this in order to make
Oh
the game
boy.
more interesting. And it's kind of interesting now that it's really taking a back burner, and we're back to having this conversation of how do we make curling more interesting on TV?
So, as people that did not live, well, we were alive, but we weren't curling. But here's do you think that like maybe back in the like Curling Canada offices in the early '90s, they were saying we need to change up the sport? Should we adopt this free guard zone idea, or should we change the rules to be skin? What if that had happened? Like in an alternate universe, we're just playing skins all the time instead
Yeah,
of like free guard zone.
that'd be interesting. I wonder how much the skins game would have evolved, because it would have evolved.
Yeah, and as much as I defend skins, I think they got it right.
Oh, for
It's
sure, for
fun,
sure.
but like the regular, it's too much for one thing. Like it's I you know how we were talking about how exhausted we were after mixed doubles? Skins games are exhausting with all these rocks in play.
And it's definitely a little more mentally challenging in a sense, because not like a regular game where if you do get a lead, you just, okay, let's
You
switch
know
to
what to
defensive
do. You know
mode,
what to do.
or we need to take 3, okay, this is our plan. So you go a little bit on autopilot, whereas this one, like, you really have to think every end, because it doesn't matter what happened in ends 1 and 2 have no effect on your strategy in end 7.
I remember my very first junior tournament playing skins. I was confused before we even threw out the first rock because our coach told us, okay, so if you win the toss, you want to shoot first, which
Yeah,
I was like, okay, now I get it. But like at first, wait, what? Everything you've taught me is wrong.
yeah, no, we did. I remember playing in that junior tournament, and we did that a couple of times because we were a very offensive team, and like we won a lot of games by stealing points.
Kelly was
And
known for always like, there's 7 of the other rocks in the house. I don't care. I'll draw the 4-foot.
yeah, I remember there was one. This is totally in a different event, but we won a game and we stole like 6 of the 7 ends or
It's a
something like
tradition
that.
that's carried into our ladder team.
Yeah, we just kept stealing one, stealing one. So anyway, so for us, we're like, well, great. It's a lot easier for us to steal 1 than to take 2. Like taking 2 is not that easy in skins when the other team is trying to steal 1. Like, I don't know. It sounds stupid because that's what you try to do in a regular game anyways, but in skins your mentality is a little different. Like all the plays to the center.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of strategy that we learn and are taught and we hear on TV has to be adapted for the context in which you're playing. And it's that
Yeah.
when we're playing juniors, there's something to be said for just getting one in the 4-foot and locking it down.
So in regular play, like you try to take 2 normally, and the way to do that is you try to push the play to the sides, right? And like put 1 rock on each end and, kind of swap, or like you push the play to the side. However, because the team who's trying to steal, it doesn't matter what's like how many opposition rocks are in the house, right? So if there's a bunch of rocks in the 12-foot, it really doesn't matter. They're going to be bringing the play back to the center anyways. So it's really hard. It's harder to take 2 in skins than in a regular game,
Yeah,
I think.
no, I think so too.
But no, I don't think like I wouldn't push for skins to, become like the new mixed doubles for instance. You
No,
know, how
but
like
I would rather it than a little more notoriety. I think
mhm.
to me, like I've lost so much interest in, like I don't even bother to watch the Grand Slams. If there was a real one on right now, I would probably watch it because it's a tough world to be living in right now with no sports. But in a normal year, I'm just like, I don't care who's winning the Swiffer Championship and the Humpties whatever and the Pinties this and that, and it's they're
Mhm.
I'll put my energy behind the Brier and Tournament of Hearts, and I'd be interested in, like, if I had even more energy to give and having it be skins or something a little bit more offensive.
Yeah, that's it. I think whoever is running the slam events, they should consider.
But on that note, because I know you told me they haven't done this before, but I remember them doing something once called like match play or something like that.
I don't remember this.
It was okay. Well, we'll have to look this up at some point, but it was some kind of variation on skins games. It was similar, but I don't remember what it was, but they played a whole tournament under this format. And whatever it was, I don't think it lasted because I think now it's just traditional 8N curling. But they did experiment, and then they quickly got away from it.
And this was on TSN?
No, on Sportsnet on the Grand Slams. They did something
Really?
called. Do you want to pause this and like have me look it up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
let's.
I have no idea what you're talking
Okay, because I
about.
remember this. Hold on.
Wait, you're not talking about like one of the Continental Cups where they tried to like
No. It
do
was a
funky
Grand
things.
Slam. It was a Grand Slam. I remember being so cynical about it. I was like, these rules are stupid. I'm not even going to bother to look them up. I'll never need to know them. And now I actually do.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it. Yeah. So yeah, I think I was right. I just Googled it and I found what are the rules of the Elite 10? It was a Grand Slam tournament that was held, the Princess Auto Elite 10, might I add.
Of course.
um,
I remember Princess
Princess
Auto.
Auto, of course. Just while I'm reading, remember the ad with Colin Hodgson, like riding some kind of tractor, and
Oh
it was
yeah,
the
I
worst
remember
ad.
that.
We should have mentioned that in our ads episode. But anyways, the Princess Auto Elite 10 is a one of a kind tournament in the Pinty's Grand Slam of curling with unique match play rules. What is match play? Teams compete to win the most ends per game. How do you win an end? By either counting 2 or more rocks with the hammer or stealing at least 1 rock without the hammer.
So Skins.
So far, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter how many rocks beyond those amounts teams are sitting in order to win an end. Okay, yeah. A check mark on the scoreboard indicates that a team won. What happens if it's only a single? Neither team wins the end and the hammer switches for the following end. In match play, this is called a push. So far, this seems like just a
This
ripoff
seems exactly like Skins.
when there is here's the difference. When there is a push,
Which is a carryover.
right, it says, do points carry over like in Skins? And the thing here is no. So there are no carryovers in match play. All ends are worth 1 point each should a team score. So they're all worth the same value and no carryover.
Oh, that is a downgrade from Skins.
Yeah,
because this is what makes Skins so interesting.
Yes.
Is that if there are carryovers, like it just builds up and it makes more pressure. Like, could you imagine you playing in, let's say, the TSN All-Star Challenge, and you're in the 8th end, the last one, carryover. There's been 3 carryovers before that. So now you're the skip, you have to draw to the button, and this is worth 80 grand.
No, I'm having a hard time.
That is the most expensive shot you're going to throw in your career. Like that is, I don't know, what would be more, if you're in that situation, would you find that to be more pressure or throwing the last rock to win the Brier final?
Ooh, what a dilemma.
That's a tough one.
I'm going to say the Brier. As a curling traditionalist and purist, I believe heavily in the Brier and Tournament of Hearts, and I think that that's worth more than money can buy. But that is a lot of money that you're talking about.
I kind of agree with you. I think both are they're very intense, but I could get over losing $80,000 on one shot, but it would be a lot harder to get over a Brier or Scotties or like world final or Olympic final shot.
Oh yeah, because I think when it comes to money, like, yeah, that's $80,000 is a lot of money. But if you're in a position to win $80,000, first of all, you're really good, and that means, well, maybe next weekend you'll win 40 grand. It's
at the next Skins competition.
That's right. If you're in a position to be making that kind of money, you will make it, I think, at some point.
Yeah, but I think from a spectator's point of view, that's what kind of makes Skins more interesting too, because now you're like, oh my god, like you're on the edge of your seat because you're like, is he gonna make it? Like, this is worth $80,000, and it's not just a shot to win the game kind of thing.
And it can be frustrating to play in because I've been on both ends of this. I've because the later ends are worth more, you can get killed in the first 5 ends and lose every skin, because Skins is traditionally 8 ends. If you win ends 6, 7, and 8, you're the overall winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an even breakdown. The later ends are worth more, and I guess that's the one of the other big differences between this match play thing and this. But that's part of the charm of it, and I can say that because I've won games where I've been killed and won 5 or 6, 7, 8, and I've been on the other side and have won the first 5 only to lose.
Yeah, I really don't understand this whole who came up with this match play thing. It really makes no sense that every end is worth 1 point and
There's more to it too, by
there's
the way. There's
oh, is there? Keep
yeah.
going, please.
What is all square means the game is tied. I could have guessed that. What does dormy mean? The team that's behind on the scoreboard has to win out the remainder of ends in order to stay in contention for So it looks
What?
like whoever came up with this also invented a whole bunch of terms. There's a dormy, there's a 2-on-1 or 2-and-1. The final score indicates how many ends the winning team was up by and any ends not. I don't know. And if it's all
No wonder
tied,
this
there's a
didn't
draw.
succeed.
No, like I do remember this happening once, maybe twice, and then from now on it was like regular curling.
Oh, that's they should have just gone with skins and like call it a day.
Yeah, because I think also the other thing is I remember watching this and being like, what the hell are they talking? All square? What does this mean? So
Yeah.
I gave
I've
up.
never heard of that
Yeah.
before.
No,
Oh.
it obviously didn't last.
Mm-hmm. So like we mentioned earlier too, another place where skins is often played at is at the Continental Cup. And it's a huge part of the tournament. And I feel like we could do a whole episode on the Continental Cup. I really like it.
I know, yeah.
I liked it before. It's kind of changed a little bit, but it's a tournament with a bunch of teams playing together as one team. So like Team North America versus the world. And then they play various sports. So like they've introduced mixed doubles in recent years once the sport kind of took off. They did hot shots, which I think they've actually removed now, which is totally yeah.
Why?
I think last year they didn't do hot shots. I don't know. It's a like there's a lot of things. I don't know. I really disagree with that because that was fun to watch too. And every like game or every challenge brings points to the team. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what the score of the game was. It's just like if you win the game, you win X amount of points that go towards like the total for the team. And then at the end of the weekend, whichever team passes like I think 270 or something first wins the cup.
I've said bad things about the Continental Cup, and I don't really think it's bad. I do like it. I do enjoy it. It's just one of those things, like I was saying, that I don't have the time or energy to like actively follow it. But if there's one thing that really bothers me,
there's not much to follow. It's just one weekend, and you watch the game or not. Like there's
but
no
it's during the Super Bowl. It's usually during the Super Bowl.
No, well, here's the thing: they change it. No, before it was played in like November.
Yes, I remember that.
They changed it to the Super, and obviously, like
now it's like it's a hard time of year. Yeah, but actually, but the thing that really bothers me, this is me being very nitpicky, but I don't care. I'm going to make this point anyway. Is that it used to be like a race to 270, and now it's a race to what, like 30?
Yeah, they really revamped it.
So I know it's all proportional. I know mathematically it's the same thing, but I don't like it. You win this game, you win half a point.
Yeah.
What is this?
Like, no, win 10 points. It's a lot more interesting.
Like, it sounds better. Come on.
But anyway, so skins really plays a big part of the Continental Cup, and they have various skins games. So some skins games only bring 10 points to the pot, and the games at the end of the weekend, like the ones played later, are worth like 50 points, let's say. So those games are a lot more interesting to watch. And then obviously you have the rest of your North America or your world team kind of like cheering you on. So it makes it more
that part
exciting to watch too. And also too, it's like, so in addition to having to just winning the skins or winning a bunch of carryovers, like you're also winning the cup for everyone else, like for Team North America or for Team World. And so it's pretty like those shots. I mean, although the tournament itself doesn't really mean anything, like they all win money anyways, but it's just the
but that
pride.
Feeling of having like it's not easy to skip. And one of the things that I've like found hard is that when you're in the hack and you're throwing the last rock, you're realizing, oh man, if I miss this, I'm really disappointing 3 other people and myself. And I have that feeling of like in skins in that position, not that I've been in that position, but it's like a field goal kicker. It's if I miss this, I'm letting down 20 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Or football 100, but it's like, yeah, it's a gigantic team, and that's a lot of pressure on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though it's all for fun, it's still you still want to win and you want to make that final shot. So yeah, those games get pretty interesting too, and also like the teams aren't as they're a little looser too.
Yeah,
Like they're there to have fun as well and to like make it a little bit more of a show. So I think it's it's a good tournament. I feel like in recent years they've kind of tried to make it a little more serious, or I don't know. I feel like it's not as fun to watch as it used to be back in the day when, Ulster and Kevin Martin and like that generation of curlers were playing it.
yeah.
Now I feel like everyone, and this was back in the day before people were professional curlers. So maybe that has a little bit to do with it.
I think so. I remember really enjoying it back then. And now
Yeah.
it's just, and again, I'm not talking about this current year because obviously, but in normal years now, it's just you can see these teams every weekend. And
Mhm.
so the Continental Cup to me is just, it's become one of the rest of,
Actually, I don't know. I disagree with it being the same people that we see all the time. For me, it's really like they take it too serious. Like there's missing personality to it. Cuz in a regular slam event or whatever, like this is part of their training, it's part of like their plan. So they're very like serious and like focused. And the cup is like an instance where like yeah, you want to win, but it's also I feel like it's made a little more for the fans than for the players. Like they're not getting any like this is not helping. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not giving them points on the circuit or anything like that.
I think they are
But
getting,
they're getting money. They're getting
yeah,
compensated
they
for
are.
sure. But like this is not adding to their goal to win a spot at the Worlds or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's becoming like too serious, I find.
Yeah, and I think we've alluded to it before that like I think one of my feelings about the Continental Cup is that I kind of think of it, I approach it kind of in the same way as I do All-Star games and other sports where I hate them. And a lot of the players hate them. Like when they're named to the All-Star team, they're like, "Oh, thank you, that's an honor, but do I really have to go? I really
Mm,
would rather not." And I think the players might be of the opinion of like, well, geez, we're traveling everywhere every weekend. I'd kind of like to stay home and not play in the continent or not play in a skins game or just but I
that's a
mean,
good no, but that's a good point you bring up because back in the previous generation of the Martins and all of them, like they weren't traveling as much as teams are now. At least I don't think so,
no,
or I don't
probably
have that
not.
impression.
Probably not. I
Or,
mean,
like they were staying a little more local than traveling all around the world.
yeah,
Um,
like it gets to be a lot and but it is a a great format for a tournament and it's
it'd be sad if they got rid of it because that'd be one less skins opportunity just gone.
yeah, and I agree with you how I kind of like seeing these teams that we're used to seeing on TV play in a more relaxed environment.
Also funny with the Continental Cup is that you can tell like the skins is a very Canada game. They don't play skins in Europe. They don't know what it
Hmm.
is. So that was so kind of interesting too, because some of the teams, especially the teams that were invited for the first time, like they're not used to playing skins. They're just kind of winging it, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's not. It's a Canada game because, like I said, it's not. There's no circuit for it. It's just club
An
game,
event, yeah.
really. Yeah, it's an event, cash spiel here and there, but yeah, it hasn't migrated to the other
It
side
hasn't,
of the
yeah,
ocean.
it hasn't trend or
Maybe now, but actually, it has, but like not to the same extent as is here. But I did go to Sweden and play for like in a fun tournament there. Again, it was like one of those tournaments where it's a cash spiel. Everyone puts in money to the pot, and it's a big party. Really, like, you do your best to play, but really, you're there to have fun and try to break out even, or leave with a little bit more money than when you came in with. But it's really just for fun, and that's what like a lot of the skins games or tournaments are
yeah,
these days.
like a
Yeah.
couple of years ago at our club, the season was winding down and there was like 1 week left before they took out the ice, but they had crowned all the ladder champions and they were like, "Well, hey, we've got the ice for one more week. Who wants to go play?" And we'll we'll just make a little makeshift skins thing. And we all pitched in like $10 and we had a
Mhm.
little, it was great. I only
Yeah.
lost $10 because
Yeah, there you go.
because I won 0 skins.
Yeah, but I hope it does, like we've said many times in this episode, I hope it stays. I hope it grows a little more because, like, right now, people who are one new to the game or two don't know anything about curling, like they have no idea what skins is, right? So I hope it gets a little more.
No, and I think when we're talking about like formative curling and juniors, that there's a lot of value in doing it. I think even though the
Mhm.
traditional game is not played that way, I think that there's a lot to be learned about having to draw through a port this big when you're facing six. It's
Game
and
of
when
inches.
you think of it, yeah, you remove the pressure of the normal context. You learn, I think, how to be a better curler for any context in playing in these circumstances.
Yeah, and I definitely think in terms of strategy, it's very beneficial for junior teams because yeah, it takes away the pressure of, look, it doesn't matter if you're drawing against 6 or you're drawing against 2. It also forces you to think in a different way to like just do what you got to do to take 2 or to steal
Yeah,
1. Like
it makes
it's
you a
just like
better
one
curler.
objective. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe there should be more junior skins.
I think so. I think honestly,
Yeah.
like back when we were doing it, it was a good educational experience. And I say this as a,
I don't know, do they have is it still on or have they canceled it?
it was still on up until like last season. I think it's not as big as it used to be, but it's and I don't know if it's still skins. I hope it is, but I'm just thinking like that we probably. I mean, I can't comment, but I think we would have. I feel like I've learned a lot just
Mm.
playing in these different circumstances, and that I know I already teased you for this, but I remember in juniors you were always known for like, oh yeah, the other team as a guys team, the other team when they had 2 rocks. Oh my god, we've got to hit.
Oh, yeah, all
It's
the boys and they'd hit, but, like, they're like, "We need to throw 8-second peel."
yeah, it's
Like, "No,
back
you
of the
don't."
12 foot. Even
Yeah.
yesterday, we threw rocks yesterday only for the second time, and there was like a rock in the house. Like my instinct is I have to hit it, and
Yeah.
it takes me a moment to be like, no, 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 you don't have to hit it.
It was very common in juniors of like, "Oh my god, like, rocks in the house, we gotta hit." But it was more of a fear thing because it was the mentality was, well, like, if we miss shots, then they just end up having more shots in the like, more rocks in the house. And you're like, "Well, yeah, but, like, also don't miss your shots." But
Ideally, no.
yeah, it also depends where the rocks are. Like, sometimes you don't need to remove it. Do something else, do an easier shot, and
Yeah,
you're good to
I'm
go.
just thinking of all those rocks we've wasted over the years of like the other team throws it back 12 and we're like, no, we got to hit it.
There's some teams, it's like as soon as a rock, oh, minor 12. Like that shouldn't come into play at the end when
I
you're
know.
counting.
Quick aside, this is not me or any team that I've played on, but I'll always remember this playing juniors against another boys team where it's the skips rocks, there's nothing in play. There's like a corner guard. We try to draw behind it on our last rock. We don't have hammer. Hopefully we bury it and we maybe force him to draw for one. And we bury it pretty good. All he has to do, it's in the 12 foot though. It's a pretty distant corner. So we've kind of forced him. I don't think he's going to play the hit. He has to draw for one. He tries the run back.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, and it was a distant guard. He was like, I'm not drawing the full 12. I'm playing the run back. It's some of us are so hit obsessed. We need to learn to adapt to different situations, and good for skins for doing that.
Yeah, especially with junior boys, they're hit obsessed.
I admit it. It's true. We were.
Even in the junior girls too, they weren't as hit obsessed because you don't have the power to generate like such strong takeout weight as like the guys did. So it was a little more offensive, but there was still the fear of like, oh my god, I have to draw. Like they would still favor a hit, an open hit in the 8 foot as opposed to drawing
Right.
open eight
And
foot.
I think anything that can teach you to be like, don't worry about them. Like you're in control. You've got the hammer. Let them lie 5. You've got your path to the 4 foot. You
Mhm.
anything that teaches that and I think gets you more comfortable in that kind of circumstance makes you a better curler.
We liked the skins tournament because we knew we thrived in it. I was like, this is our game. Like, we're very offensive. We like to draw and freeze, and that's what the skins game is just drawing and freezing. So we like excelled at that tournament. It was always one of our better ones.
We somehow did win that tournament. I don't know how. We were very hit obsessed. We one day, I guess, got it all together in it.
That's also the thing too. Like a lot of, even though it was a skins tournament, a lot of people didn't know how to play skins. So it ended up being a regular game anyways. Like if I remember seeing some of the games being very clean.
I want to say a quick thing about one of the years that we played the junior tournament that was skins, and it was that I think we were in pools of 4, and you had to be the top skins winner or top 2 in your pool of 4. And we weren't doing so well. We did the math, and we were heading into our last game, and we're going, oh man, we've got to win every skin to make the playoffs. And we started well. We were winning, and it's looking good. Or no, actually no, we weren't. But in like the third end, our skip is shooting his wide open draw for 2, and or a hit for 2 or something, and I burned it. Like,
oh no!
I burnt it, and his shot was going to be perfect. And I remember thinking, oh no, like we've got to give them the skin, even though we were going to make the shot. I burnt it. It was a hit for 2. He had it, but they take the skin. We're eliminated. But I mean, hey, we had to win every skin, right? We weren't going to win all the
rest.
That's
already a hard feat, yeah.
We won all the rest.
Oh.
I got an earful after that.
That's okay. We forgot to mention this in the rules. You cannot shake at a skins game.
No, and that's actually a contrast to one of the things I love about. We've said this before. We like the rule that you can shake, and
yeah. In all fairness, though, it makes sense. Like you can't, because it doesn't. You're not counting the rocks. It's literally every skin is its own. I don't know how to say it, like its own game in a sense. Like it doesn't matter what happened.
And that's why I guess I'm glad it's not that widespread that we play it every week, for instance, because we'd be.
Oh, I don't think I could be part of a skins league or anything.
Exhausting.
No.
I'd like to do it a couple of times, but that's it.
No, I'm good with the one tournament a year. Like, let's play it, have fun, and that being the end of it. But yeah, like we said, you can win the last. Usually, it's set up so that as long as you win the last 3, you've won the game. So you can't shake after 5. It just doesn't work like that.
No, which is my usual instinct of like, well, this isn't going well. Let's go have a beer.
Or maybe you can, but then you forfeit the rest of the skins, which again doesn't make sense because if you just win the last 3, you walk away with whatever money you win, even if you don't win the game. So it's in your best interest to at least try to keep playing. So.
Yeah, win as much as you can.
So I guess this pretty much wraps up our skins episode.
I think so. I've got one more question for you though.
Yeah.
So there's these junior skins tournaments that we did. One of the reasons they were fun was there was also like a costume theme to each of them.
Oh.
Do you remember any of your? I remember we did. I was going through a big Harry Potter phase when I was a teenager, and I insisted that like we all dress up as Harry Potter characters. I don't think my teammates liked it at all, but I did. What was yours? I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember either.
Oh man.
I think there's one we did. Maybe we did a Grease theme, I think.
What?
Or something along those lines, something similar.
I don't think you did, because I would have remembered.
Yeah, no, we did Charlie's Angels.
Oh, okay.
So we all dressed up in like black and did the whole like thing. Yeah, it was Charlie, but that's the only one I remember. I know there was others, but I don't. Charlie's Angels is the only one. That tournament I played in Sweden, though, that one was also costume themed, and we were the Ninja Turtles. And it was a pretty sweet. You know what? I'll try to dig up the picture and maybe I'll post it on our Instagram
for our fashion episode.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. We had green sweaters, like bright green sweaters, and we sewed on like a yellow felt thing to make like the turtle abs, I guess. And then we got long, like over the knee green socks, and then we each had like different. Yeah, we had like different colored bandanas.
That I would know, yeah.
Obviously, there's like a photo op, right? So I don't remember which Ninja Turtle I was, but I was the one. So I had the pizza box. So like, because you know how they ate. So in this picture, I'm holding a pizza box, and then someone made nunchucks.
Oh my
God. Then there was also like a long stick. I don't
Yeah,
know
one
what
of
you
them had a
call it.
stick. I don't remember what
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called, but
we had that, and then someone else had like pocket knife, like little like dagger knives.
yeah.
So it was a really great, it was a really cool photo, and it kept us. It was a great costume because it kept us warm. You know, we had the sweaters on and everything. But we replaced the weapons with brooms when the game
Oh, that's
came
really
to.
smart.
Yeah, but
I'm,
no, it was a great picture. I'll post it maybe for this episode. We'll
yeah,
see.
I'm glad to know that the Ninja Turtles exists in Sweden
Oh, it's worldwide. And it's a
worldwide.
perfect costume because there's 4 Ninja Turtles and you got 4 people on a team, so no
Yeah,
one gets left
why we
out.
should have thought of this years ago.
I don't think a team went with the Ninja Turtles. Oh, but no, that tournament that we're talking about that we went to as juniors, every year had a theme.
Right,
So that year where we did Charlie's Angels, I think it was a movie like Hollywood.
right. And I think that's why we did Harry Potter, is that it was the movies, we could get away with it being a theme.
I know we've played in that tournament for many years, and I only remember that Charlie's Angels costume.
I remember some others that came after. Eventually, they started to get a little bit more increasingly inappropriate. So
Oh, I
I don't
see.
know if they still do. I think they still do themes, like, but I don't know.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this week's episode.
Yeah, that's I guess it. We'll carry it over to the next one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
what a way to go out.
what a way to go. And yeah, stay tuned for that Ninja Turtle picture on our Instagram at behindthet.curling. Bye.
Take care.